One piece of career advice you wish someone had given you when you were first starting out?
I think the one piece of advice is probably two pieces that closely aligned, I think. Like I'm a self-taught engineer, so I didn't do the whole academic route, and I was really lucky to get into engineering. And one thing I was looking back, I'd like to think of, it's really opportunities. You know, you realise when you've been doing this for a while, we're in a very lucky industry. We get lots of opportunities. And the first role I was in a role for around 9 years in total. And I think part of that was, which ties into the other one thing, I guess, is a bit of self-doubt. So you're working in, especially your first job, you might be doing quite well, but there's always that worry that you move on to another role and you'll try something else and you may be found out, and it's the whole imposter syndrome thing. So I think if it was looking back, it's actually, embrace them opportunities. Self-doubt will always come in, but it can be valuable as long as it's not debilitating. It kind of can give you that drive. But I think really embrace them. I've been lucky. I've worked in the UK, the US and Australia, and them opportunities have come because of the roles I've been doing. And so I think the opportunities will always come along, but they're only opportunities if you take them. So I think that would be the one.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your career journey that made a significant impact?
Yeah, I was thinking a bit about this, and I think a key one for me was in that first role that I mentioned. So when I started out, I think it was around 19 in my first engineering role. I worked for a software house, so we were building software for lots of different companies. And often I'd sit in company, their offices, their sites, and one of them particular offices, I ended up working there for probably 6 months, 9 months, kind of full time on the consultancy kind of approach. I was working with one of my bosses at the time, one of the owners of the company. He was looking after that function. And I guess I'd started from an engineer and moving into that more leadership roles. So what happened was, it just happened I'd started to pick up that leadership role, and there's 6 other engineers in the room. And, a lot of the things came to me, but I was still working with one of the founders of the company. And then what happened, he went off to another customer, basically left me in charge, and that kind of happened, and I was really happy about that at the time. I was one of the youngest in the room, and but the pivotal moment for me was, it was probably 3 or 4 months later. My boss came back, he came into the room, he sat down, and I was expecting things to go back to the way they were when he'd left. And the first thing he said to me is, Vinny, what do you want me to do? So he recognised that role had been given to me, and then he never took it back. He kind of respected the fact that it was given to me and trusted me to continue. And it was a bit of a light bulb moment to go, oh wow, I can do this, or someone kind of trust me to do this. But just showing that level of respect, and it showed me about what good leadership is, and it gave me confidence that maybe I knew what I was doing as well. And I think that was one of the drivers for how I am today. I think you learn from good and bad leaders, but that was definitely one of the good experiences.
How do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life, and what's your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
Yeah, it's interesting one because I think there can be small challenges and there'll be large ones. I think, thinking of things that have happened recently, like I was at Qantas when COVID hit. So I was one of the 20,000 people that were stepped down, and that kind of sends you on a certain direction. But then you can have the smaller day-to-day challenges with companies, with people, with projects. There's lots of different things that can say hit that. And I think it was the one thing that really I've learned to lean into, I guess, is people. So it's your networks, it's your, it could be family, my wife, it's friends, colleagues I know in the industry, either people I work with or people I have worked with in the past, or just friends outside. And I think it gives you a sense of clarity, and it gives you a sense of like perspective when you actually talk to another person. I'm quite introverted, so a lot of my processes are internal, but I've recognized over time keeping it internal doesn't actually solve any problems. And once you start talking to other people, it actually can make a huge difference. And that could be in a day-to-day, but it could be something larger, like, oh yeah, I'm in a situation, I need a new job, I need to do these things, and the same things happen. One is you kind of get that support, but then you kind of when you talk to one person, you're kind of leaning into their networks as well. So it gives you that real sense of hope, I guess, in sometimes when things are not going so well. And it's kind of, even in the day-to-day, your colleagues, there's that person that you can just jump into a room and have a bit of a rant and clear the air and just say, I've just seen something, what do you think? And it just gives it, again, that sense of perspective. And I think out of anything, I think that's really helped me. And it's a learning for me, because like I said, I'm not always then lean into that side of things, but I've actively got to reach out and ask for help, or just someone to listen. And it's made a huge difference. So that's definitely my go-to strategy.